give your opening remarks, and then we'll move into the questions, which you will have 1 minute to respond to. So we'll start right at the top here, and we'll call upon Richard Barkwell for his opening remarks.
Thank you. Is on? Thank you, Wilfred. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For the last 20 years, it has been the vision of Summerlanders to develop the municipally owned land at the foot of Cartwright Mountain. Market conditions and our economic situation have converged to bring this smart growth proposal close to reality. In his report to Council on October 14th, Tom Day, Summerland's Chief Administrative Officer, said, "We have a massive infrastructure deficit that is growing and growing. I believe proceeding with the Cartwright Mountain development instead of the hugely unpopular land swap plan would provide the funds to help pay for all the recent infrastructure spending. That is what I call common sense." As an MBA, CGA, and auditor, I have a keen interest in the finances of our community. I also have an interest in drawing upon the many talents and ideas the people of Summerland have. I would reinstate the various consultative committees the previous council disbanded. You have identified quality of life and economic development as two key areas of concern. Making our town a desirable place to live will draw more people to it, which in turn develops the economy. This is particularly true with seniors. To me, seniors mean jobs. Jobs for all skill levels, from doctors to the kid next door who mows the lawn. Furthermore, when other areas of the economy go up and down, creating booms and busts, the pension checks and spending of seniors continues unabated, providing financial stability to our community that others do not enjoy. On November 15th, remember me, Richard Barkwell. I will be the last name on the ballot. Pick the last name first.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call on Tony Booth for opening remarks, please.
Thank you, Wilfred. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tony Booth. I am one of 10 children in a multiracial family. I am one of the so-called lead kids. After graduating from this school, I spent 12 years in Kelowna and Vancouver, returning to Summerland in late 1989. I'm the mother of 2 grown sons. I am also the founder and owner of Grasslands Nursery. We just finished our 10th season. Earlier this year, my company was awarded the Chamber of Commerce Sustainability Leader Award. Some here are categorizing me as a one-issue candidate without relevant experience. Well, I ask you please to listen up, because you will hear otherwise this evening. Sound economic policy is the foundation of good government. In Summerland, I feel that foundation is shaky. Without solid economic expertise to advise our elected officials and administration, Council has forced itself into a losing strategy of trying to make sound decisions from problematic information. As a member of Council, I will strongly advocate for the hiring of an experienced and proven economic development officer. Some would criticize this as a failed experiment, but let us learn from previous experience and not condemn Summerland to a stagnant future. We have a community that has a rich agricultural heritage. We must ensure that agriculture remains a vital part of our local economy through policy initiatives that welcome and nurture new value-added agribusinesses. This provides jobs and contributes to our community's growth. If elected, I will support the withdrawal of the Urban Growth Plan application and work towards developing an integrated agricultural policy for Summerland that aligns with economic goals. As your representative, we need to be transparent. This is our town, this is our time. Thank you. My name is
Thank you. I'd like to call on Erin Carlson to give her opening remarks, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erin Carlson. I've spent most of my life here in Summerland, and I currently help farm an ever-growing acreage of orchard crops. Farming is going to keep me here forever. In my youth, I was involved in everything from Girl Guides and minor hockey to high school musicals, OCP roundtables, and painting the Sadie building. I'm an experienced manager, and I've seen many parts of the world. Thank you for joining us here tonight. For many of you, this forum is a regular pre-election event, and you always participate. For others, this may be the first time you've attended an event like this, and you're here, like me, because you would like some change. You believe that we control our future. Sometimes I feel like if we don't participate at the local level, we will fail to be heard. I know that I'm not the only person in the group of candidates up here who is excited about change, and I know that many of you are engaged in hopes that change will happen. I have spent the last year meeting Summerlanders from all walks of life, and a couple of things have become very clear to me. One is that we all want to see our town flourish and prosper. Another is that we already have the tools and the processes required to allow this to happen. But most importantly, I'm learning what Summerlanders value, and I'm learning the meaning of community. I'm on the ballot on November 15th because I would like to be part of the direction-setting team, strategy building, and launch Summerland into the future in a sustainable, bold, and economically viable way. I believe that we can do this without giving up some of our greatest land assets. Thank you for participating. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you. I'd like to call on John Dorn for his opening remarks.
Thank you all for coming. During the March public hearings on the official community plan and the land swap, I decided I had to run for council, as things were just not right in Summerland. I started developing policy and plans. I have an agricultural protection strategy, an art strategy, a tourism strategy, and a growth strategy. If there's an issue, I have a strategy. But something changed for me on last Saturday. I was politicking outside of Nestor's. I was chatting with a senior lady while she waited for her taxi. As I helped her into the cab, she said, "John, I will vote for you, and I hope you will listen." What a simple request. I will hope that you will listen. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected this month, we may find ourselves in this room 4 years from now. At that time, some storefronts might be empty, some streets still in poor shape, and there will be some surprise issues that don't even come up for discussion tonight. And there will be some excuses why these things were not done. But there will be no good excuse if councillors have betrayed the trust of the voters and have not listened to them. I have business and volunteer experience, I have policies, and I have plans. But here's the one thing you really need to know about John Dorn. I do not see the Nestor's lady here in the crowd tonight, but I promise to her, and I promise to you, that I will listen now and for the next 4 years. My name is John Dorn, and tonight I want to thank you for listening.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Joel Gregg to give his opening remarks.
Sophia, before you start the timer, there are some empty seats in the front. For those of you standing who like to come sit down. Okay, Sophia, I'm ready. Good evening, friends and neighbors, and thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Joel Gregg, and I will be proud to serve as your councillor for the next 4 years. Some of my fellow candidates tonight would like you to believe that this election this year revolves around a single issue, and I think that's unfortunate and a disservice to our town. There's so much more at stake. Rather than focusing on any one issue or the issues, I'd like to suggest we focus on the people up front. Think of yourself as a shareholder in a $30 million a year corporation that employs 100 people. You're now charged with the task of hiring 7 people to manage this corporation for the next 4 years. Who are you going to hire?
You're looking at 16 applicants here, plus 5 others that were just up before. We have no idea what opportunities and challenges we're going to face in the next 4 years. My suggestion to you is that we pick the best 7 people with the best qualifications, the best experience, and then no matter what comes forward, we have the best chance for success. I'm 41 years old. I'm not wet behind the ears anymore, and I'm not long in the tooth yet. I've got 20 years of business experience with a financial background. My wife and I run 2 businesses in the downtown area. We've invested in commercial property, residential property, so believe me when I say I'm committed to Summerland. We have 2 young boys, and when I look at our vision, I'm looking much beyond my personal lifetime, but into their lifetime. I'm here for the long term. This was so much easier in my bedroom earlier today. If you have 2 minutes is not enough to share everything I want to with you, feel free to stop by the Jubilee Dental Center. My door's always open, and it will be for the next 4 years. If you have any questions or concerns, I'm happy to talk to you, and I look forward to the questions tonight. I look forward to your support this week or next.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call on Bruce Hallquist for his opening remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming out this evening. My name is Bruce Hallquist. As many of you already know, I'm a lifetime resident of Summerland and I'm proud to call Summerland my home. My 40 years of business experience has included 11 years as a founding member of the Penny Lane store, which raised over $3 million for youth programming in Summerland. The most recent funding being set aside for a new skateboard park. In 2006, I was the recipient of the BC Community Achievement Award for service to the community. Besides spending 39 years on the fire department as a volunteer fireman, I was president of the Chamber of Commerce and have been elected 7 terms to serve on council. I have the experience to make sound judgments on issues affecting all Summerland residents. Over the years, I have a proven track record for pressing for fiscal responsibility. I would like to see a future which encourages the development of Summerland from the downtown core out, putting an end to urban sprawl. It makes economic and environmental sense and will encourage much needed new businesses to the area where infrastructure services are already in place. I want to help create the right climate for this to happen and provide conditions that encourage young families. I believe that we need to make cautious decisions when choosing between new projects and the repair and maintenance of our aging infrastructure. We must keep an eye on our future well-being well beyond the current council. My leadership is about recognizing our rural agricultural landscapes, our pristine beaches, and our need for a vibrant business community. Leadership requires the qualities of vision, new ideas, fiscal responsibility, and experience. My proven extensive track record shows a dedication and a commitment to the betterment of Summerland for my family and especially my grandchildren, all who live here in Summerland. Vote for the voice of experience, Bruce Hallquist, on November the 15th. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Doug Holmes for opening remarks.
Many of you here know me as the local tennis coach, but my background is in journalism and international business. In London in the 1990s, I was a company director and publisher of trade magazines aimed at the British public sector. Then came the internet. I was among a small group of thinkers who wanted to know how the public sector could use this powerful new tool. I wrote a book on the subject and spent 10 years with Microsoft working with their public sector customers around the world. I helped many municipalities improve their service delivery, streamline internal processes, and most importantly, open up to become more accessible and transparent. With greater transparency comes closer public scrutiny. People now have access to far more information than ever before, and we live in a highly connected world. People want to say in the issues that affect them. Gone are the days of politics as usual, when councillors could make top-down decisions with little public debate. The world today is complex, and decisions aren't always clear-cut. The easiest solution isn't always the best solution. We need creative thinking and we need to collaborate. Public engagement produces collaboration. It allows us to tap local expertise. I call it community crowdsourcing. Engagement also provides the public support needed for effective policy, or it should, so long as councillors don't let their egos and biases get in the way. I've come into this election with no personal agenda, no vested interests. What I come in with is a huge amount of experience and knowledge, which right now is just sitting on the shelf. I have had a rewarding career helping communities around the world. Now's the time for me to help my community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Robert Hacking to give his opening remarks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Hackie, and am very proud to have been serving as your councillor for the past 3 years. As the manager of Bad Robot Computers and Electronics, I've used my skills and experience as a local entrepreneur to bring progressive vision and insight to the council table. I've been an advocate for key accomplishments such as the transit service that serves at Okanagan College and the hospital, the development of a common sense sign bylaw that lets our local merchants express themselves in unique and expressive ways, and significant changes in the district that have improved customer service, reduced red tape, and made your tax dollars go further. As we move into another election, there will be many tasks already started that will need leadership and vision to see fulfilled, which include the development of a recreation master plan to address the replacement of our 30-year-old facilities, a capital replacement plan that lays out the long-term costs to maintain our roads, our sewers, and our water, and a comprehensive and inclusive community cultural plan. Continued efforts to ensure Summerland receives the provincial grants it deserves, and the development of key strategies to attract and retain more young professionals and their families. The next 4 years will see significant challenges that require leadership and experience to find solutions that will accomplish our goals. Solutions that make us stronger and more sustainable, that enhance our investment potential, and attract more residents to experience living in our wonderful community. I'm Robert Hackie, and I believe in the fiscal responsibility to the taxpayer, in supporting our job creators, and in growing our community with vision and care. Thank you.
I'd like to call on Denise McDonald to give our opening remarks, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I applaud you all for sitting here on the hard benches, and some of you, it's the second time you've had to listen to us. My name is Denise McDonald, and I've lived in Summerland for 35 years, married into an old Summerland family, i.e. the McDonald School. I have business experience as a manager, worked as a technician for the tree fruit industry, helped run our family farm for over 30 years, and sat as a board of director for the BC Fruit Growers Association for 7 years. Labor, environmental, economic, foreign competition, and governance issues made for a dynamic, ever-changing agricultural sector. Water and land use issues were always and still are a priority in my committee work. I was recently appointed to the Okanagan Water Stewardship Council, which is a technical advisor to the Okanagan Basin Water Board. I'm a founding member of the BC Agricultural Council Water Working Group, which has input into the provincial government's new Water Sustainability Act, which they just unveiled May 2014. Change and transition is the norm today. I have heard many issues emerging from past Summerland decisions. The cost today and tomorrow of maintaining the infrastructure and the need for the community to follow urban plans that will not compromise generations in the future. Transparency of our financial situation, meaningful public consultation, and genuine dialogue involving planning for growth and projects are just a few of my concerns here in our beautiful town of Summerland. Many issues are emerging from recent priorities Council has chosen. Slow population and economic growth has made it a challenge to cover community costs. We cannot spend our way to prosperity. Cut it out. Thanks.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Daniel Papadopoulos to give his opening remarks.
Papadopoulos, and I decided to run for council because, well, it interests me. It's dealing with every aspect of all that city can run into, everything from infrastructure to business to farming to communities and everything else. But I'm going to keep it short, and came here for family as well. So not a good public speaker, I'm sorry. It's hard to say things, you know, it's going 100 miles in my mind, and I want to share my ideas and whatnot. But even if I don't make it in, it's been a great learning experience for me, dealing with issues and learning about them and researching. Yeah, but thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Janet Peake for opening remarks, please.
Thank you very much, Wilfred. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to the youth of Sadie who decided to come out this evening. My name is Janet Peake, and I would like to be elected to council. I am a person who has a passion for working for the community, serving the community. I have been on municipal council for 19 years in the district of Muskoka and was mayor from 2003 to 2010. In the past, I operated a successful produce and plant business, held positions in administration in the provincial court, family division, and also in the long-term care sector. I have negotiated successfully with senior levels of government, demonstrated leadership in many ways, the devolution of police services in the region in which I work, participate in the Fair Tax Commission, and work with the federal government in planning for the G7. My extensive experience with all levels of government may very well be an asset to our community. I too want to help revitalize Summerland's downtown. Collaborative efforts with the public and the businesses and the farms, organizations that are here will make a better decision making. Pursuing new businesses to relocate and expand in Summerland is a way of creating better economic development. There is an opportunity to market our area to those working in the oil, gas, and mine industry, and let them know about our lifestyle here. We need more families and youth to be involved in our community and to live here. Greater emphasis on arts and culture will enrich us socially, culturally, and economically. Investments in infrastructure must be done cautiously with regard to the funds we have available. And strategic planning is important. Infrastructure is a key enabler for business and industry development. We have a beautiful waterfront, and I can see us improving on that. I believe that we should have an economic development task force or committee, and I would like to work with the public and businesses with that. Thank you very much. Vote for Janet Peake.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Ken Rodocker, please, for opening remarks.
Thank you. Hello, Summerland. Don't mind me if I'm a little bit nervous. I'm kind of sandwiched between Erin's here. Nice to see Sadie and the kids out here. Awesome. My name is Ken Rodocker. I'm a local business owner. I have a business downtown here and one in Lower Town as well. I've been involved with the Summerland Merchants, Earth Week Committee, and was instrumental in the creation of Movies in the Park and our Friday night markets. I've owned and managed businesses for 35 years. The most important thing I've learned in business is communication. 80% of a conversation is listening. Without listening properly, you're not understanding, and I would be here to listen. My hopes are to see Summerland united and revitalized. The liquor laws are changing, allowing us to bring in our wineries downtown, into our stores and the street markets. This attraction alone will bring in many people as we would create a wine destination all year round, or wine town destination. The Waterfront Resort has discussed a bus link into downtown should we have anything going on downtown. This could bring in hundreds of people that normally wouldn't even come to downtown. So my vision for the future of Summerland is this: create Summerland to be a wine town destination with our empty stores, maybe filled with wineries, street markets with wine in them, and our food, and everyone else in Summerland to join into these things. reintroduce the Taste of Summerland as an event or festival so that all Summerland can join in. Also to develop a business advisory committee to assist businesses with any troubles they might be having. And to create a web link for the Summerland residents to talk to their council and have any questions you have answered by us. We need a council with good common sense skills and focus on what's going on in Summerland and what it needs. Thank you very much. Vote for me, Ken Rodocker.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Mark Smith for his opening remarks.
Good evening. Thank you for attending. Good to see such a turnout. My name is Mark Smith. I'm running for council. I worked for Northern Computer in Kelowna for the last 10 years. I've worked in the IT sector for 26 years. I've been a resident of Summerland for over 20 years. I'm married. I have a daughter graduating this year, and I have another daughter attending UBCO. My first priority when elected is to ensure that we are looking after our existing infrastructure. Our sewers, water, electrical, and public buildings must be maintained in good working order. If a tourist to Summerland or potential residents' first experience is the washrooms in the downtown park, they will leave. The tax dollars that are left need to be carefully spent to promote and enhance the community. The current land swap has been a waste of tax dollars. There are a lot of good ideas on how Summerland can grow and provide. I look forward to listening to sound proposals and working to enrich our town. I appreciate the Trans-Canada Trail Society sponsoring us on a hike. Wonderful organization. We have a lot of wonderful organization. And with whatever time I have left, please support Sadie. Their floors were recently ruined by some rain, and they could use a donation. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Erin Traynor for her opening remarks.
Hello everyone, and thank you for coming tonight. My name is Erin Traynor. Here's why I'm qualified to be your counselor. I have the skills to do the job. I have a political science degree and diplomas in broadcast journalism and public relations. A key theme in my education has been the importance of transparency and two-way communication. I am a small business owner and the manager of the Penticton Farmers Market. I have worked with businesses, organizations, and municipal governments, and I will bring to council my conflict resolution skills and the ability to collaborate. I understand how municipal governments operate. As a former TV news producer, I wrote hundreds of stories about provincial and municipal issues. In Summerland, I've attended several public forums and council meetings over the last year. Here's where I stand on some important issues. In general, I do not support removing land from the ALR, and I don't support the current proposal before the ALC. Many of you have told me that the public consultation process for this issue did not work. If elected, I will work towards improving communication between residents and council. I support making infrastructure upgrades a priority and creating a capital reserve fund to help pay for them. I support densifying the downtown core by developing available lots and encouraging responsible development in neighborhood hubs such as Lower Town and Trout Creek. I support creating a new recreation plan and enhancing our park system. Finally, I support working closely with business owners and communities to revitalize our downtown. I am passionate about Summerland, and so far, I have a pretty good attitude about municipal politics. We've got a lot going for us, and we've got room to grow and improve. As your counselor, you can expect me to do my research, to listen, to consider all sides, and to explain my decisions. I set high standards, and I'm willing to learn. This election, please give me the opportunity to represent you.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Martin Van Alphen for his opening remarks.
Thank you. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here this evening and to be running again for the position of councillor with the municipality of Summerland. Thank you to the Summerland Chamber and the Summerland Review for jointly hosting our very own All Candidates Forum. I have a proven commitment to the community